and welcome to this week's show. And we're in 1992 for a Harrison Ford picture called Patriot Games, which was a dual operation, because it was filmed, a large proportion of it filmed in the US and a large proportion of it filmed here in the UK. So we're going to have a little look through some of the action. We shall also take in some information from Greg Barnett, who doubled Harrison Ford in the latter part of this picture. So lots to do, and we'll start right here. So here we go. Patriot Games from 1992, and we'll start with the opening London bombing. The terrorists, of course, in the taxi cab waiting for the member of the royal household who is being driven in this vehicle here. This is the limousine. There's James Fox, who's playing the character in the back. It's being driven by Tony Van Silver, stuntman, and next to him is Gabe Cronolly, another British stuntman. It will become apparent why in just a moment. So the taxi comes along. This is in Greenwich. This is the Naval College up at Greenwich. If you've seen the movie Thor, or certainly the one that Kenneth Branagh directed, you'll have seen a huge sequence up here. You'll recognise this immediately from all of that. That's Elaine Ford driving through there in that Astra. Taxi pulls over, one behind. All of a sudden, Harrison Ford is aware of something going on, and he says to his family, "Get down, get down, get down, get down." Now, he rushes over to them, and this is still quite a hefty piece of work because, all right, there's an explosion going off, right? That's a big bang. Everybody in the background will be stunt performers as well, or action extras. There's a lot of fragmentation of bits and pieces flying off that vehicle, and then he rushes them across, and watch what happens. You see that Thora Birch there, the young girl, is absolutely loving life, and he throws Anne Archer down on top of her, right onto the floor. He's got knee pads on, because obviously, and here's the lads here. There's Gabe this side. Far side is Tony Van. And here is the moment. This, for me, is the moment that everything changes in the entire film. He looks, he sees what's going on. He looks at his family. He's looked at his family and said, "I need to do this for you." And then off he goes. And he comes in and he, boom, pole axes Sean Bean, throwing him to the floor. He's got a back protector on here. Look, lower back padding, just the back of his trousers, because you never can tell. Takes a shot, shoots the fellas here. Bang, you'll have one as well. Thank you very much. Good evening. In the meantime, he's been clipped, and then the chaos starts to die down as everybody drives away. Another fascinating scene, and he's always very good in this. The freeway crash. Now, all of that traffic is stunt traffic. Now, take that into consideration. Everybody in that state of play there, they are all stunt drivers, ND drivers, nondescript drivers. They're there to make up the numbers. They're there to assist with the camera car that's here. There's Anne Archer in her car. That's the interior of the van. He opens the door. He's got this, what is it, a submachine pistol, an Uzi or something of that nature. This is a terrific shot as the van pulls up alongside, and she takes a look that way to the right because she wants to pull out. This car comes in between, sees the gun. It's brilliant. It's very, very cleverly done. Bang! And then this is where the impact starts. He's firing willy-nilly, but look at this for an impact here. Now, obviously, number of different camera angles. Bam! And the whole thing goes up. These are there on the freeways there. They have like these runoff areas, and that's, of course, got water in it, and there's an area there where you... But I've slowed this down as best I can, but this is being driven. This is not mechanical. And obviously, having to take into consideration, there's no airbag on this vehicle. I don't know what speed they're travelling at, but it's fast enough to be quite an impact when done for real. I think it's either Karen Brady or Annie Ellis who are driving, but still very impressive. I mean, it's a very exciting moment. This, of course, all boils down to the big ending of the speedboat fight, where we have stuntman David Burton doubling Sean Bean, makes the transfer from his boat to this one. The fight on board between Harrison Ford and Sean Bean, and they have to work this. The stunt guys, David Ellis is in a helicopter. He's taking all of the shot to these shots here. There's 15-foot swells there. Look, they're jumping up and down. It's very, very impressive indeed. They've got to work this fight out. It's then got to be worked out again back at the studio, so they can put some insert shots in. It's the anchor, which is then thrown, look, into and misses him. And that, of course, is the key for the rest of this. And the editor knows this. Look, he's going, hello, let's keep that in silhouette. And then they've turned round. It'll go back to it again. There's the shot of the reef coming up, giving the impression there's not far to go. There's the anchor again. Turns him, pushes him, shoves him, and gives him the shove. And there we are. It's Goodnight Vienna. And gives Sean Bean a chance to die once again, as he does in many of his films. Now, there's a POV shot here where you suddenly see the reef. It's coming up. He's got to get off. He's got to bail. And he goes. Now, this is Greg Barnett. Greg Barnett is doubling Harrison Ford. That boat is doing 60 miles an hour. He has to pick his spot and go. Now, he's got a wetsuit on under there, but he's got to land flat. 60 miles an hour. Now, Greg is a diver. That's how he got into this business in the first place. So being in water is not an issue. But you land on water at speed, and that is serious stuff. There's not enough padding in the world that'll take the sting out of it, certainly. But Greg for many years was a stunt double to RJ, as he's known in the business. Of course, Robert Wagner, and was stunt double and coordinator on Heart to Heart for many, many years. So he's a very good double, as you can see here, a very good double for Harrison Ford. But that is some job to jump into water at speed. It's as bad as hitting concrete. He's doing it at 60 miles an hour. And stiff as a board, does not even come close to how he was feeling. But he's a remarkable, remarkable man, and still going strong, and fair play to him. So there we go. There's the action in that sequence, and you have to say that, you try and picture it in your mind's eye. You've got the two boats in 15-foot swells, and then you've got the chopper with David Ellis in it, almost parallel to what's going on, and then of course Greg's got to get out. He's got to bail. Now, there was an original version of that. They reshot the ending of the picture. Originally, Sean Miller and Ryan are fighting underwater. Now, that changes the whole aspect of the movie, really. But bearing in mind where they were, it's at night. They had to film it at Paramount, at a tank they have there. It didn't really work, and the audience said it didn't really work either. So they then changed, after test screenings, they then changed the end of the picture to what we see now, which of course much more exciting, and that big explosion. You blow stuff up, it makes a big difference. However, in order to get to the blowing up, Greg Barnett has to set sail and get out. That boat is travelling, I know we've said it already, but that boat is travelling at 60 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour. And he has to get out, and he flat backs that water. You ever been on holiday, a pool, cliff jumping, whatever it is you do, and you thought, I'll just jump off here, it'll be fine. And you hit the water, and your body position just changes slightly. So instead of going in legs first, straight, sometimes you go in at an angle, like a seat drop or a saddle drop or whatever they call it. and you catch the back of your legs or you catch your back, and that's really painful. It stings like hell because you've hit the water wrong, and then the following day there could be bruising. There could be a little bruising. There could be a lot of bruising. Greg, I think, was quite lucky, really. He had some bruising. He will tell you in subsequent interviews and bits and pieces that he's done that, you know, he felt really sore the following day. Yeah, but I imagine there was a bit of bruising too. Has a wetsuit on and has a cover for that wetsuit as well on top of his the wardrobe, the suit that he's wearing. But that is a hell of an impact, really. What's now? The caveat to all of this is the fact that when Harrison Ford and Sean Bean are fighting, and you can see them in the movie, they are never off dry land. That particular sequence was filmed at Paramount and is on the back lot. And that's an awful lot of rainmakers, or whatever they call them. Rainmakers, they're the ones that are throwing the spray at people. And fellas with buckets of water, I imagine, launching it up and soaking the pair of them. But it's done on dry land. And the editor is your friend in this situation because it kind of works. He really has. I didn't realise this until quite recently, till I was, you know, looking into the show. But it's very good because what I expected is that it was done at maybe a slower speed, maybe on a stretch of water or even on a tank, but in a boat physically moving. No, it's not. It's propped, it's positioned, it's on dry land, and they're giving it the buckets of water and the spray and the whole thing, and they're rocking the boat about from side to side. And it's really very good, and the shots edited between the real action and the actors, I think, superb. So hats off to them. Cracking job all round, and I think you'll agree it's really very special. So I was very, very excited about that. Next week, well, who knows? Do you know why? Because we're going to take a break at some point, and next week seems like a logical place to do that. I've got an awful lot to do in a very short space of time. I've got the finalised bits and pieces for the book to sort out, and then we will return with Bond. But I will give you a couple of weeks' notice, possibly, to say so. But next week we will take a break, and then hopefully the week after we'll be back with something along those lines. I'm going to do a couple of short little bits and pieces. I'll keep you informed of any changes, but take a little break because I've got some stuff to do. So until then, I will bid you a fond adieu, and thank you for watching. See you next time.